Whether you are a sales rep trying to get your great product in front of a big new customer, a VP of advancement trying to get a wealthy donor to contribute to your cause, an eager professional seeking employment in that perfect company, a business owner bucking for time with your state representative, or an infinite host of other comparable situations, knowing how to get around gatekeepers and organizational roadblocks is a vital tool for your executive toolkit. In this short video, I'm going to teach you a technique that I was personally taught by the CEO of a Fortune 150 company. And I promise you, you have never heard of this technique before. And I promise you, it really works. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. It is a very rare thing to find a professional scenario where a single person is making a substantive financial decision. Yes, it sometimes exists, but it is very rare. And when you want to reach that key decision maker that will help you land that big opportunity, trust this. They won't be making that decision alone. Gatekeepers and roadblocks won't matter when you discover the main influencer in that decision-making process. It is the influencer that you want to find. It is the influencer who's going to guide that group of decision makers to choose you.
Let's do this.
I started my professional career in sales. Immediately after getting out of the Navy, I served 6 years in the U.S. Navy submarine service on the USS Kamehameha, but I took a sales role as a staff recruiter in a little tiny recruiting office in Rocky Hill, Connecticut for a massive company, which at the time was called Manpower Inc. I think they're called the Manpower Group today. It wasn't long before I was working as a national account manager up at the world headquarters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One time I had worked very hard to sell one of my solutions, and it turned out I was working on the wrong individual. Everything pointed to this person being the one that would make the decision. In fact, what the heck, they even told me that they were the one that were going to be making the decision. So why wasn't I chosen after all that hard work? To answer this, let's first identify the 3 key players in this type of scenario. Quick side note, I really wish I came up with this technique. I did not. This is what was taught to me by that CEO, who I'm going to leave nameless. What he did was to give me a short book to read that must have been magical, because I swear I cannot find it anywhere. It had a white cover and it was called RCP, Strategic Account Management. So he gave me this book and asked me to read it, and then we met together to discuss it. To this day, it's puzzling why I can't find it, but I'm wondering now if maybe he's the one who wrote it and had just one copy and shared it with me. I don't know. Anyway, in that book was this philosophical structure about how to penetrate organizations by considering 3 roles people play within the organization: the fox, the gatekeeper, and the coach. For you to be selected, for your product to be chosen, you're going to want to get past the company gatekeeper and get access to what we're going to refer to as the fox. The fox is the person who, if they show up late to a big meeting, everybody in the meeting is going to stop, let that person get situated, bring them up to speed about what was already discussed in the meeting. They show them lots of respect, maybe even admiration. The fox's name seems to be talked about by everybody all the time. He or she keeps getting brought up in conversations even when they're not around. And the fox will say something like this: I am not the decision maker. There is a group of us who make a decision. I'm part of it, but it ultimately is a team effort. When you find someone who meets these qualities and speaks these words, these magic words, you want to put all of your energies into cultivating that relationship. You have found the fox. The fox is the person who's going to sway the group to choose you ultimately. They will influence the decision-making process. They are clever and persuasive, and they almost always get what they want. So how do you find this impressive creature? And how do you know he is not masquerading as the fox, but is really the gatekeeper? So let's talk about the gatekeeper for just a minute. The gatekeeper is a person that's going to block you from selling your wares, whatever they are, within the company. They are usually an afterthought to these meetings. If they walk in late, no one's going to stop the meeting to catch them up. In fact, most people won't even acknowledge that they've arrived, even if they are late. People will not be mentioning them much in conversation outside of the meeting room. They just don't get brought up that much. And gatekeepers usually say things like this: I am the decision maker. Everything I want to be communicated through me. I am the one who will ultimately be making the final choice. When you find the person that embodies these characteristics and specifically speaks these words, these dreadful words, you have found a gatekeeper. And they will secretly try to keep you out, even if they never tell you that. They will sometimes manipulate you for their own good to improve their own status within their company, but they will not be influencing the final decision. They are in fact powerless, and you will find that they are extremely tight-lipped about almost everything about their company. They won't share anything. They want you to see them as important and influential, but they're not. You now want to avoid this person at all cost. Do not email them any updates ever, even though they told you that's what they want from you. Do not stop by at their desk and meet them when you visit the site. Don't try to connect with them on social media. Don't tag them, etc. Their self-assigned role is to lock you out. Now, as a disciple of Jesus, I am not advocating that you be unkind to this person in any way. Don't be unloving to them. What I'm saying is, during this short-term process where you're striving to achieve your goal, just don't be including them during that time. After you've achieved whatever objective you've been striving for, then you can start to befriend them. Invite them over for dinner, certainly, amen, share your faith with them, be kind to them, connect with them later, just after you've achieved your goal. If you try to do it beforehand, they're gonna get in your way, something fierce. So how do you find the fox? And the answer is by first finding the coach. And no, I'm not talking about someone like me, a professional coach, an executive coach. I'm talking more as a coach metaphorically. That's someone within the target company that you're pursuing who has seemed to take a liking to you. And they start sharing inside information about the company with you because for some reason they want to see you succeed. When you have found someone like this, you have found a coach. They use language that sounds a lot like admiration and friendship. They willingly tell you who to focus on and who to avoid. They in fact become your internal navigator. You can actually turn many different types of employees within that company, turn them into coaches, unless of course they're the self-appointed gatekeeper, by just being transparent with them, being genuine with them, letting them know why you're there, not trying to be tricky or deceitful, taking a real personal interest in them, asking them questions about themselves. Yes, connecting with them on LinkedIn, sharing their posts, tagging them on things. Depends upon how far you want to take this, but maybe even texting them some silly memes. I do, I'm kind of goofy like that, but befriending them. Once you find the coach within a company, you are well on your way to being selected in that final decision-making process. They want to and will lead you to the fox. And as I hinted at earlier, maybe I mentioned it, this whole Fox Gatekeeper coach works incredibly well when you're trying to get into a company for employment that you really want to be working at. And this works incredibly well. Now in this video, I'm not going to cover specifics on how to deepen that relationship with the fox. I honestly reserve that for those that hire me, my clients. But using the mindset of a fox, a gatekeeper, and a coach will successfully help you navigate around the personnel roadblocks so you can make your way to the key influencer and get selected for your project. As always, and I hope by now you assume this, please pray to God, commit your way to Him. As I mentioned in a previous video, pray to find favor in the eyes of the influencer, the fox, and all of the decision makers, of the coach, and yes, even if you want to maybe pray to find favor in the eyes of the gatekeeper. Commit to God this entire process. And remember Proverbs 16:23. The heart of the wise makes his speech judicious and adds persuasiveness to his lips. Practice this technique a lot. Talk about it with others, your colleagues, maybe with your mentors. Explore it together, maybe an advocate. Please comment about this below, ask any questions for clarification, and of course, as always, please share this with others. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.